Hey guys, it's Adam. Welcome to Do You Watch Anime, a show where I sit down with a guest every week and ask them, Do you watch anime? And we go from there. And today, joining me is singer and voice actor in such anime as Too Many Losing Heroine and One Piece, Corinne Sudberg. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, do you watch anime?
Yes, I do. I'm probably like one of the biggest anime nerds out there, to be honest.
So, how did
uh,
you originally get into anime?
I mean, how does anybody, right? You just
Yeah.
found it on TV one day and then you're like, "What's this?" Geez, yeah. I mean, I guess that's how it got started. You
Mhm.
see stuff on TV, you wonder what it is, and then eventually you start learning about things. I think, like, I started like everybody else, like, with Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, and stuff like that, and then we got Toonami, and then I joined anime clubs at school and learned more about it that way, and
Mhm.
because I think the internet was, like, barely a thing, so, like, resources weren't really that
Yeah.
good back then, you couldn't just, like, look this up, so yeah, I guess that's really how I got into anime, just, like, watching it on TV, Speed Racer, one day and being like, "What the heck is this?" And my dad might have told me what it was. He always jokes around that I got into anime because of him, because of Speed Racer, even though I don't think he even knew what it was at the time. He
Yeah.
always called it Japanese, Japanimation. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, yeah. So
Yeah.
now we know.
Yeah, my dad did the same thing where he's like, "I showed you Astro Boy," and I'm like, "No, you
You like
didn't."
this because of me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, literally. I'm like, "No, it's because mom turned on like the after school cartoons and Sailor Moon was
Yeah.
there, and I was like, "Oh my
That's what I mean,
god."
we were at a good time where there was Saturday morning cartoons, like,
Yep.
everywhere, so, like, you were bound to watch anime at some point in your life.
Exactly, exactly. So from like just like the usual Toonami, where did you go from there? From like, how did you like just go from, the usual Toonami to actually seeking out anime?
Oh my god. I mean, I never knew I was going to be an anime voice actor. I didn't even know I was going to be a voice actor because,
Mhm.
I was very interested in acting and animation when I was very young, um, but, I wanted to learn more about the entertainment industry in general, like making cartoons. I wanted to work for Disney. I That was the big dream. I Like every other kid, I wanted to work for Disney. Then you
Of
go to
course.
animation school, they tell you some things, and then you're like, "Maybe I don't wanna work for Disney." But, during that process, I realized that I could also still do acting, but voice acting, and then that
Mhm.
kinda led me to the passage of like, "Okay, how does that work?" And then kind of that led me into researching things, and like I said, the internet was slowly being born.
Yeah.
We were starting to get resources from people like the Voice Acting Alliance and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and that kinda led me to doing, like, parodies on YouTube and going on Newgrounds. You remember
Oh
Newgrounds?
my god.
Yeah. Like, just getting dabbling into that art, and then I guess that slowly, weirdly led me into getting an opportunity to audition for Funimation, which, funny enough, was for Momonosuke for One Piece.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
Oh
my
my
first one,
god.
actually. Um, so
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I
Holy
mean,
crap.
honestly, everybody's journey's different, but I will
Yeah.
say it comes with just a little bit of luck too, like
Yeah.
the right place at the right time.
Oh my
So,
god.
yeah.
Jeez. So keeping on with Momonosuke, how was it as an actor to take on that kind of role? Because he's a sad guy.
Um, it's very interesting. I always People always say, like, "What's your favorite character?" It's always hard to pick because you got so many, but it's
Mhm.
probably is Momonosuke for me because I spent 4 years with him.
Yeah.
Because with the licensing and junk like that, it was a while to catch up with the dubbing and everything like that, but I really got to soul search with him,
Mhm.
between reading the manga and watching the anime. Um, I had a pretty happy childhood, but, like, everybody kinda has those doubts in their life and
Mhm.
frustrations, whether they're good enough or meet their parents' expectations, and I kinda use that to channel my my depression and grief into the character.
Yeah.
Acting is not therapy, I will
Yeah.
out
No.
but, it does help a tiny bit.
Mhm.
So I think being able to channel some of those frustrations into what Momonosuke was going through with
Mhm.
his trials and losing his family and trying to live up to his father's expectations, and his people's expectations with getting the country. I mean, it was very overwhelming, but it was just such an awesome acting experience, and I got to work with so many directors. and hearing their different feedback because of it.
Yeah.
So it definitely was a fun challenge that I probably won't be able to experience anytime anywhere else because yeah, that role just took such a long time to work on. So
Yeah. Damn. And how was that being your first role? That's insane.
I think it was my
Yeah.
first. I mean, it was a little crazy because when I auditioned for him, it was a weird process. Every audition process is different.
Mhm.
They actually called me in to record 2 episodes, and I think I was up against somebody else.
Mhm.
And then for a year, radio silence, and then that's usually like, okay, didn't book the role, whatever. And then like 2019, I think I auditioned for him like at the end of like 2017, beginning of 2018, didn't hear anything. 2019, hey, you got this, come in. And I'm like, okay. But I think at the time we were juggling things with the One Piece license and stuff like that at the time.
Mhm.
And then when we got the to like, let's dub the rest of this, they're like, okay, did we audition this kid? Yes, we did. Let's go with her. So yeah, I guess that's what happened. I couldn't tell you, but yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad I got it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god, I love that. So moving on to like your favorite, what are some of your favorite anime?
We're gonna be here all day.
Oh, that's
Gosh, I think, geez, where do I have asking that question is hard for a nerd
Yeah.
because me, it's just like, well, are we talking about a certain category? Are we talking
Mhm.
about a certain year?
Yeah.
Um, everybody who knows me knows I'm a huge Pokemon fan,
Yeah.
but I think I like the Pokemon show because of nostalgia. I grew up with it. I
Yeah.
practically grew up with Ash when he won the championship. So I'm like, spoilers, by the way.
Yeah.
But Pokemon's a nostalgic one. Sailor
Mhm.
Moon.
Yeah.
I grew up with Dragon Ball Z too. My first like I would say like hardcore anime that wasn't like on Toonami
Mhm.
or like a US network that we all got like Inuyasha and stuff like that was
Yeah.
probably when I got the ADV Films like direct network. There was like a thing that you could purchase and then
Yeah.
like they had a whole bunch of anime from ADV Films. So like my first hardcore like probably outside source anime that I was my fave was Sayuki. And
Okay.
Sayuki is basically a show about the journey to the West but with like really attractive men. But it's not
Sign me up.
it's it's more just so like they're on a philosophical journey just like in the journey of the West, but they're just all very attractive guys. And but like it's more of like the bonding. Like they don't
Mhm.
do anything, even though like the artist involved was like very like they could, but they don't. But like it
Yeah.
was more like what it's the perfect opinion of why I like anime because of the bonding.
Mhm.
The fact that there's a special bond that we can have as human beings that doesn't require to go beyond like, you know, love, like sexual love or something like that. It's just it's a bond that you can't like explain. It's like Nakama, like
Yeah.
One Piece, it's just that
Yeah.
that special friendship that you can't describe. And like Sayuki was that to me.
Mhm.
And then eventually, like when we got One Piece and stuff, like that was One Piece as well. I'm a huge One Piece. I'm wearing One Piece right now. I'm in One Piece. Um, God, what else? My love story.
Oh
I
my
always go back
god.
to my love story.
So good.
Yeah, I feel like there's no other anime like it,
No.
surprisingly, in these days,
Yeah.
where a burly, tough guy is in love with a petite girl, and they like we don't have
Yeah.
anything like that. I'm rewatching Sweetness and Lightning right now.
Okay.
Great show about a mom, about a father and a daughter,
Mhm.
bonding over cooking stuff with each other, because they just lost their mom and their wife, and they're like, oh, she used to cook us great meals, and we don't eat great meals anymore. And then they find this woman that runs a restaurant, and they're like, why don't we cook meals together? And it's like it's just wholesome, and
Oh. Yeah,
I
that
love
one's
wholesome shows like that.
yeah.
I like all kinds of genres,
Mhm.
honestly.
Oh, yeah.
That's why when you say your
Yeah.
favorite, or like I can go on. Like
Yeah.
Fruits Basket, I could just
Oh,
name a billion things off the top of my head.
yeah.
Parasite, Death
Yeah.
Note. I mean, I've seen a lot, man.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen a lot.
I always ask this when Pokemon gets brought up. So, if you could voice any Pokemon,
Ah.
which one would it be? Because I've gotten some really good
Oh man. The thing is because I was so into Pokemon and like all the actors from 4Kids, like
Yeah.
obviously I did like anybody else and could imitate a lot of the Pokemon. Like especially like I think Rachel Lillis, she used to do a lot of the squeakier ones.
Mhm.
So like Cyndaquil, like so it's like and like I
Yeah.
was like, oh I could do that. Geez. That's the problem. I feel like I could sound like a lot of them already. um I like Raichus. It would be cool to be
Oh,
a
hell
Raichu,
yeah.
I guess. My friend Casey voices Raichus
Yeah.
sometimes, but just like it's funny because of the accent because
Mhm.
it's Raichu, but they say lai lai when you hear
Yeah.
it in the dubs. It's like lai lai.
Yeah.
The scratchiness is it's too hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I could already voice a bunch of Pokemon. I don't know if I have a favorite. Fun fact, I did get to audition for one of the Pokemon movies back in the day.
Okay.
And I
Ho
didn't book it, but it
Yeah.
was cool because I got to see the pre-animation. Like they were
Okay.
still animating it. So I
Oh.
thought that was just a treat all in itself that I even got to see like
Did you, like, freak out? You're like,
I was
"Holy
just like,
shit."
this is the animatic. This is the animatic of the movie. That's so cool because in while we're doing ADR here, they're also just doing they're going along with the animatic, the
Mhm.
Japanese too.
Yeah.
So it's almost like we're a part of the process with them, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like
Yeah.
so that was really cool.
Oh my god, yeah, I would've shit my pants. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. One answer I had, I forget who said it, but someone said the garbage Pokemon,
Oh,
and
garbage.
yeah, the one that's actual garbage, I forget which one
There's
that
Trubbish and then there's Garbodor.
Trubbish, that's it.
Yeah. I
And I'm
think
like
he's like, "Trubbish, Trubbish." Like,
yeah.
that's the problem, like, I've imitated, like, half of these anyway, so I'm just kinda like
Yeah, oh my god, I love it. So yeah, yeah,
I guess if I
moving
had to pick official Pokemon that, like, "Oh, I'm the official voice of that Pokemon,"
yeah,
probably, like, Azumarill. I like that Pokemon a lot.
hell yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Azumarill.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite is, Psyduck.
Oh, Psyduck. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Psyduck so much, and when, like, he got the whole, like, Pokemon, concierge,
I
when
love
he
Pokemon Concierge.
oh,
Oh,
oh, it's just
such a
heaven.
cute show. I think they're
Yep,
making more episodes, actually, so
yep,
I'm looking
I'm
forward to that.
so excited, my boy. Oh, and, like, even, like, the in Pokemon Concierge, like, the background, you can see Pokemon interacting with each other, and it's
Mhm.
so cute.
Oh,
Like
yeah, there's nothing like a Pokemon fan when you see a Pokemon-based thing and you're looking around in the back. They do it on purpose now, they
oh,
really do, like
100%. There's a
yeah.
whole, like, scene in Concierge where, Regirock, or Regirise, I don't remember which one. Metagross, that's it. Metagross picks up, a Rhyhorn or something, and then just, like, they're playing,
Oh, he's
and
fighting with a Graveler,
that's
that's
it,
it.
Graveler,
Yeah.
that's it. And, like, he picks him up and, like, places him down. I was like, "That is the most adorable thing I've ever seen." Oh my god. Oh, it's so
There's a
cute.
thing that, Cerebi.com,
Mhm.
the guy, whenever he, like, writes stuff about, like, a short or anything, he names every single Pokemon that is in the thing.
Jesus.
That's how extensive that website is.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, I love that. Yeah, there's, yeah, and I agree with, I was getting a tattoo, yesterday, and the tattoo artist is like, "So what are your top 5 favorite anime?" And I'm like, "Why did you do this to me?"
It's like I mean, we're gonna be here for, like, a week.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, I like this one, but also this one,"
Yeah.
and,
I
like
mean, like, I even have recently favorite ones now too, but, like, where do I put them in the category, you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah, like, I love Free Written, that's definitely,
oh,
like
Frieren,
oh,
Delicious in Dungeon.
yep. Oh,
I just
so
finished
good.
Zenshu. Zenshu is
Oh,
amazing.
literally.
Um, Orb, The Movement of the Earth.
I've
I
heard
feel like
really good things about
oh,
that
it's
one.
so I just did a cover of that song actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about that,
Yeah.
and I
There's a
that's
lot of fantastic shows out right now.
yeah, definitely, oh my god, and, yeah, I literally was like, "You can't make me pick that, that's too hard, that's too
Very
difficult."
hard, yes.
Yeah, so, when someone is coming to you being like, "You know anime, what do I watch?" What do you recommend new anime
Oh
watchers?
god. You know what? I hate this question because, like, it's hard because I feel like you really need to know a person
Oh, totally.
to tell, because like, I feel like everybody always does the typical answers like, "Well, make them watch Cowboy Bebop," and it's just like,
Yeah,
yeah, but Cowboy Bebop is a more of a character piece, it,
yeah,
like and I've even rewatched Bebop too, like,
mhm,
fantastic show, but, like, a lot of people don't realize it's a
yeah,
character-based show, like, we don't really know much about, like we know a little bit about the outside world and stuff like that, but that's not important, what's
mhm.
important is Spike's journey and everybody else's journey, um, and is that what you wanna introduce them? Is it more of like a character piece? Do you want them to do like Delicious in Dungeon, where like everything is like there's a lore behind the kingdom and stuff like
Yeah.
that? Or just like, are they into comedy? Are they into something like dark? Like
Mhm.
I feel like I would sit down with that person, ask them like what their favorite type of genres is, and then maybe spiel them something.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
don't know what a go-to anime really is. I mean, do you think Cowboy Bebop is a good first go-to anime?
Yes and no. I think
Right?
that it's a good way to be like, this is where it's kind of blew up, basically.
I guess
Like,
so,
I
yeah.
guess. And like I usually just go for like, just watch Demon Slayer.
Oh,
Um
Demon
just watch Demon
But
Slayer.
Demon Slayer is pretty harsh in the beginning too. Like,
It is.
do you wanna throw that punch at them right away? I
Yeah.
feel like one of these days I'll give you an answer, but like I don't
Yeah.
know
No.
if there is a perfect
Yeah.
go-to starter pack of anime,
Oh yeah. Someone's like, "Oh yeah, totally make them watch Attack on Titan." I was like,
Watch
"Whoa."
Tenchi Muyo. That should
Yeah.
be a first one. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
like
Like
get them to
Gundam
watch
Wing,
VTuber.
like,
Yeah.
Evangelion. Like,
Yeah.
how do you know which one to choose from? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, y'all. Just wanted to take a moment and talk to you guys about an incredible convention debuting this year. OzokuCon runs from August 29th to 31st, and it is located in Port Huron, Michigan. Even though this is the first year they're running the event, they have one of the biggest talent rosters in all of Michigan. Meet Griffin Burns, John Gramillion, Cassandra Lee Morris, Walter Jones, Naya Marino, Caleb Yen, and even some friends of the podcast like Ben Stegmeyer, Mauricio Ortiz Segura, and Corinne Sudberg, plus many more. This convention is jam-packed with some amazing panels, a nearly 24-hour arcade, courtesy of Classics and Wadoka, and gaming tournaments running all weekend long, thanks to Grand Finals Entertainment. Plus, Friday and Saturday, they have some awesome after hours events. Like on Friday, they have a live production of Rocky Horror Picture Show, and Saturday, there's a rave. So to learn more and grab your tickets, go to ozokucon.com. I hope to see you there. And now, back to the episode. Totally, yeah. So moving on to your voice acting career. You voice our favorite teacher, Miss Anamatsu.
Yep.
How was it getting to voice that absolute ball of chaotic energy?
That role was such a surprise
Yeah.
because, honestly, like when she brought me in for that role,
Yeah.
she was describing it and she's like, "Oh, she's like a loud, drunk, crazy woman." I'm like, "Oh, that's why you brought me in, huh? Because I'm loud and obnoxious. I can see why." But honestly, like I fit with her pretty well. Like
Yeah.
I thought she was one of the most natural, fun roles I got to do because most of the time I'm typecasted as kids and stuff.
Mhm.
I feel like I don't have a place just yet for what directors want me for voices. Like I could either I'm usually known as a voiceover chameleon, but the
Mhm.
problem is with that is like, oh, she sounds great as that, but she sounds just like this person who we could already get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was the first time this character was like mine, you know what I mean? So I just loved her ball of energy and like I just loved her little like snarky comments at the other kids and stuff like that. And I'm so happy we're getting a season 2.
Yes.
Like the fact that it won comedy of the year made me so happy. Like the
So good.
entire cast and Helena did such an amazing job. Everybody did such an amazing job on that dub. So
Yeah. Like it was one of my favorites from like last year, like straight up. And like it's so
yay.
beautiful.
Right? Oh, it's
Oh
a
my
gorgeous show. Yeah.
God. Like it looked like a movie every single episode. Cause
They
like
probably could have just done a movie, honestly, but
totally. Yeah. Like I at first, cause we're anime people.
Mhm.
We know sometimes that the budget decreases over time.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens. So I was a little worried. I was like, oh, this looks beautiful. Hopefully it can stay beautiful.
Yeah.
And it did. And I was like, wow, crazy.
For sure.
Oh my God. So because she has so many so many amazing lines, what was kind of like what was one that stuck out to you that was like, this is so good?
I mean, the Byzantine line's pretty good. Like, I think that's what nailed it for Helena when I went into the booth, where it's
Yeah.
just like, Viva Byzantine! And she was just like, Jesus, okay, we got that. Yeah, like but
Oh
yeah,
my God.
she's that yeah, I constantly say that too.
Yeah.
I just think it's so funny.
Oh my god, I love it. So like I also love the relationship between the nurse, I'm going to
Oh,
put
yeah.
on quotation marks, should not be taking care of children at all, and her, because it's just so funny. And it's
It definitely seems like with the little hints in that we get with their segments that they definitely, like, went to school together themselves and had,
yeah,
like, an interesting relationship. I almost thought they were hitting on each other at, like,
yeah,
at
same
one
here.
point, and then I was just kinda like, "Okay, no," but, like, I do really like their dynamic. Like, I
Yeah.
like that she's calm and cool, and then I'm just like, "Oh, bats off the wall," like, kinda deal. I hope we get a lot more stuff with them in,
Mhm.
season 2.
Yeah, 100%. And like I also like how the show handles like going from this ridiculous hilarious comedy to these like really toned down and grounded moments.
Mhm.
Like it just blew my mind. I'm like, what is happening? I'm not used to this where I'm like
It
shift
it's
it.
it's
Oh,
it's just very like most anime, but I feel like this hit the nail on the head, like, life is just so full of ups and downs, like,
yeah.
laughs and tears, and this show really just captures that, like, losing out of love sucks, it
Yeah.
really does, but you could still find a way to, like, find it in different ways, even
Mhm.
just through friendship or just, like, through a hobby or something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I know what it's like to fall out of love too, so
Yeah.
I feel like the more the topic's relatable, the more, great a show is,
Mhm.
especially the storytelling with that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I was like, this is so goddamn good, and like, yes, it has like this very anime moments.
Of course, yeah, but you gotta have that a little
Of
bit.
course, of course. There was some parts where it's like, stop.
Like when they go in the shed and the
Oh,
teacher comes
that's
back, it's just like,
yep,
"No, I'll be back later."
yeah. That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
thinking. I was like, literally that whole scene. I'm like, stop.
So good.
Oh, so good, so good. So going into your English covers,
Yay.
anime English covers career, I guess, on YouTube. How did you come to start that?
I think I do remember vaguely, I don't remember the artist's name, but I
Mhm.
saw a long time ago when I was doing YouTube, I was doing a lot of parody stuff. Um, I saw someone do a cover of Battle Frontier from Pokemon,
Yeah.
and then I was like, "Oh, it's not Battle Frontier, the 4Kids version." They actually translated it. And
Mhm.
I was like, "That's interesting. I think I could do this better." Like, it wasn't bad, but I
Yeah.
was just kinda like, "Wow, I wanna try this, and I think I can make it a little bit better."
Yeah.
And I think it's still on there, that cover, but,
Mhm.
like, yeah, I just found it fascinating because with a lot of our jingles too, especially in the beginning, we more made jingles even before dubbing anime,
Yeah.
like Ninja Turtles. Like our songs are very like, this is what the show is about. These are the characters.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff happens. Here's the logo again, and we
Yeah.
kind of did it for kids stuff too. But when I started listening to more Japanese music, I
Mhm.
realized that a lot of these songs that are chosen are very fitting for the show.
Mhm.
Sometimes, like, especially when they're picking an anime, they'll pick a specific band on a specific song because it resonates with the show or like actually has theming with it. So I was like, oh, I think it's better to get that adaptation more than just kind of making up and don't get me wrong, those jingles are awesome.
Yeah.
People are still singing the One Piece rap,
Oh, yeah.
but
Iconic.
I think it's great to just get the true intention of what the song is, and then the fact that it's like, "Oh, they're saying this because of this person's journey, and oh, that's cool. That's so
Mhm.
relatable." A one fun thing that, like, I was so happy I found out was when I did the opening to Chainsaw Man,
Mhm.
Kickback.
Yeah.
Um, I work with some translators because I don't speak it myself.
Okay.
I could sing it a little bit, but I work with actual human translators.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes I rely on certain websites, but I really like that human,
Mhm.
interaction, to kinda get as much as possible. Yeah, it's never gonna be perfect,
Yeah.
but I always just like getting as close as we can.
Yeah.
And we were trying to find out what 4443 meant. There was a bunch of numbers in that.
Mhm.
We're thinking like, oh, does it relate to like angels and demons? Is it like some type of biblical thing or something like that?
Mhm.
And then with enough research, we found from a Reddit user that said apparently in Japan, vending machines have lottery systems. So when you get a drink, you have a chance to get an extra drink. So we found that we were tickled pink. We were like, "Whoa, that's so interesting and fascinating." And then we're like, "So why is that in the song?"
Mm-hmm.
They say 443 and basically like, "Oh, I'm out of luck." So it's basically talking about how Denji is always out of luck in his life because he's been screwed over so many times, and he's still kind of in a shitty situation.
Yeah.
And just he just wants to touch boobs and just eat toast with a bunch of stuff on it, but
Yeah.
like, it's just not easy. So
No.
just finding those little tidbits and then putting them in our song, I just feel like makes it a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of my fans appreciate when I put in that research for that.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite examples.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I that was going to be my next question, is how do you like translate that? Because
I
that's
work with
always.
like 2 to 3 translators. The most I work with my friend Aaron.
Mhm.
He's local to Dallas. Um but we talk back and forth. He'll like look over the Romaji and stuff like that, and then we kind of just go like, "Okay, would this make sense? Do they have a similar saying to this?" And it's kind of similar process with even adapting scripts for Crunchyroll or even
Yeah.
doing manga, because you're basically just interacting with the translator and going like, "Okay, they're saying this, but in America, we have a saying much like this that kind of relates to that. Is that okay?" Um, a great translation note I just heard from was from my friend James Cheek, who does script writing a lot for Crunchy. And
Mhm.
we were talking about the ba-bum noise from Zenshu, the heartbeat noise.
Yeah.
And he said that he got that reference from a musical. I'm blanking on the name right now. But
Mhm.
they were talking about like heartbeats where they were saying like, ba-dum, and we're just like, he showed it to the director. They showed it back to the translators, like, we think that's a great and that's like so
That's so
cool.
cool.
Translating, adapting is so much
Yeah.
fun.
Oh
Like,
my god.
you know? And
Yeah.
again, it's not gonna be 100% accurate, but the
Mhm.
fact that we can even get this close to getting the same message, I think is amazing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, totally. And like it's just so cool that, oh my god. I love it. And like yeah, I find it just really cool. It's really.
Sorry if I'm, like, rambling
No.
on about it, but just,
No.
like, yeah, it's just a fun hobby of mine, and
Yeah.
I just really like being able to see if we can get to that point of, like, getting as close as possible, and I
Mhm.
just it's just fun, you know?
Totally. And like taking a look at, because there's so much anime music coming out.
Oh god.
Yeah, taking a look back at like last year, what were some of your favorite OPs?
I mean, creepy nuts, man, like,
Oh, so
I
good.
got to see them live at Anime NYC, and I got a ticket to meet them,
Oh my
and I will
god.
say that was one of the best concerts I
Hell
ever
yeah.
seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
I could see why they're at the pinnacle
Mhm.
of, like, rap artists, like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah.
amazing. I have yet to translate one of their songs. I've seen so many great interpretations that I was like, "Do I even bother?" I
Mhm.
might try it just for fun, but
Yeah.
just to be able to, like, go back and forth, ugh, it's and when I was in Japan, it was playing all the time too.
Yeah.
Um, um, you can't beat Ado. Ado is great. I also
Yep.
saw her live in concert. She's a
So
musical
good.
genius as well.
Yep.
I've also covered some songs and be like, "Hey guys, I know I'm not as talented as her, but I tried my best." But
Yeah.
like, she's also phenomenal. I'm blanking on the name who sung Haru from Free Ren, but that was
Yes.
also a beautiful song. That was a
Yeah.
gorgeous song too. I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, I could go on and on about the
Yeah.
different artists out there. Just the music is great in Japan. It's
Oh my god,
fantastic.
it's literally all I listen to. It's so funny, my Spotify will be like, "Oh, just normal music and just all these Japanese artists."
I get embarrassed when my mom's just like, "Oh, you didn't hear the song on the radio?" I'm like, "I don't listen to the radio, and all I
Yeah.
listen to is anime music."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Uh, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. There's like, especially last year, I was like, "Oh my," like, Don to Don's opening
Oh,
was
Don, yeah.
literally on repeat for forever, like, oh my god. And, like, going back to, like, 2023,
Mhm.
um, Where the Blue Is from Jujutsu Kaisen
Oh, yeah, oh my
is
god.
straight up my favorite anime opening ever.
Gosh.
And yeah, it literally was my top, like, listen to song last year because it's just so good.
Yeah, there's been too many good jams, like, and I can't cover them all, I wish I could, but
Yeah, and, like, um, I recently re-downloaded, Too Many Losing Heroines.
Oh
OP.
yeah, we did a
So
cover of that too. Actually,
yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
yeah, so catchy, and like, oh,
My mixer also did the guy vocals for that song too.
I
So yeah,
love
we
that.
worked off each other.
Yeah,
I've heard that group a few times. They've done a couple of Pokemon songs too. It's also cool when you're doing covers because then you run into the same bands and you're just like, oh, they're trending again. That's cool.
yeah,
Bandmate is also great. They did the opening to Zenshu and a bunch of other ones.
yeah,
Also saw them live. I've seen a lot of people live actually.
yeah. When someone, I think it was about a year ago, someone asked me like, "Oh, who's your favorite artist right now?" And I was like, "I'm really into the Peggies. I really
I love
love
the
them.
Peggies.
I love the. Oh my god, it's
They're like,
literally,
who the Peggies?
yeah. I'm like,
yeah.
hey, they're a Japanese band.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, I have a Rent a Girlfriend shrine up there. Straight up, their like intro for the first season of Rent a Girlfriend is so good. And they're in Bunny Girl Senpai. Oh, they're so good.
Yeah. Again, we can go on and on.
Yeah,
It's the same thing as your favorite
literally.
anime. Just like, do I have to pick? Like,
Yeah, literally. And like, even this season with Medalist, Bow and Arrow.
Mm.
Oh, so
And like I
good.
said, the orb opening is amazing.
Yeah.
That's an earworm. Like,
Yes. Yeah, that one I have heard.
Hi, I'm Steve Yurko.
And I'm Tara Sands. Now available from Maji Media is our new podcast, 4Kids Flashback. 4Kids is the company who brought you the English dub of Pokemon in the late 90s and so many other shows like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Shaman King, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kirby, the infamous One Piece dub, and so many more.
We'll be talking to the people who worked at 4Kids. Actors, directors, writers, editors, producers, engineers, you get the point. And hopefully get the answers to questions both you and I have about the company.
I actually worked there as a voice actor on some of the shows.
And I was a kid watching the shows and remember way more than Tara does.
And thank God for that. Steve is actually a professional storyboard artist, which gives some really unique insights into anime and animation. Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts. That's the number 4 Kids Flashback.
Hey guys, welcome to the Patreon portion of today's episode. And if you want to join the Patreon, there are a few different tiers, like shoutouts on the episodes, as well as exclusive videos and behind-the-scenes content, and so much more, and even the episode a day early. Thank you to Gio, Keith, Blythe, Bunny, Mikey, Sheba, and Brooke. And if you want to join the Patreon or find out more, the link will be down below. And yeah, back to the episode. But yeah, so moving on to your kind of acting career, what made you want to start like acting in general?
oh God, it all starts when I was a wee child. Honestly, I am gonna go back to that because
Yeah.
my mom said that when I was young, I actually didn't speak for a while. I don't know if I was, and I'm not self-diagnosed, probably
Mhm.
autism or like just there's another term for it, just like what's the? Hold on a second, let me look it up. I think I had it as a note actually. Speech delay. Yeah, like
Okay, yeah.
speech delay or something. Because sometimes when you're young, it's like it's not automatically autism. It just could be a speech delay or something. Because I did talk, I would just go like and I would point to things. But my mom always said that I sung. So I would sing songs, I would watch Disney a lot.
Yeah.
And I could sing the whole like part of your world, but then it's like, "Oh, do you want a drink?" Like
Yeah.
that's apparently what she told me. And then we did a lot of speech classes, and then she realized that I might like to be trying to do acting. We did a few like improv things, small kids plays, and then I said I wanted to be an actress. So then we kind of went that route really. And then as I was watching more cartoons and stuff, there was like, oh, I want to be an animator. You know what? I'm going to be both. I'm going to be like a juggernaut and do everything. And I did acting for a while. I tried out for a few plays here and there, commercials, did the typical high school stuff. My mom took me to a lot of recreational centers that I could take art classes at and everything like that. And I studied everything, even like doing like, oh, how to draw anime. There was even like how to draw anime class. And it was just a woman just showing us like, this is how you draw Inuyasha. Like she didn't actually like teach us how to draw. She's just like, this is how you draw this anime character.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, taking that class, I actually met a lot of my friends who I did Sailor Moon Bridge with. So it was pretty funny that
Love
that
it.
happened. And then after a while, I didn't like being on stage anymore because I don't know, I just got uncomfortable with myself. I was having body issues and stuff like that. And then I was just like, you know what? I'll just go the art route because no one cares what the animators look like. I went to the School of Visual Arts in Manhattan to study animation. And then you are required to take an acting class because as animators, we have to act with our bodies to figure out proportions and stuff like that. And then someone brought up about voice acting. And then I was like, oh, wait, that is another type of acting I can get into. I didn't think of that. How do I do that? And then I kind of just started researching that. And between experimenting on YouTube and then, like I said, that we were slowly getting the Voice Acting Alliance. I think now it's the Voice Acting Club now. It was slowly becoming a forum that you can try things out and junk like that. I think I used a Samson CO3 mic or something like that as my first mic, and then just started doing my own dubs, figuring out how to steal anime and then go I could do this. And then that kind of led to the route of trying covers and then doing parodies and then auditioning for actual projects that were trying to do it the same way. And then doing all this, I kind of made a weird kind of resume. And then I guess Joel McDonald was the one that actually gave me the opportunity to audition at Funimation.
Okay.
So, because he liked some of our parody stuff at the time, and he's just like, you know what, you want to try this? So I'm just like, okay.
I love it.
It's a little bit of luck and kind of just experimenting with things here and there. The only other opportunity I got was I got to be in a pilot. It never got to be on Nickelodeon, but it was called Welcome to Showside.
Okay.
And it was just a monster, befriending a monster hunter, and I played the monster hunter, and I got to work with Henry Rollins. That was super
Holy
sick.
shit.
Yeah. And the pilot is still up on YouTube. But yeah, didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But it has very Adventure Time feels to it. So
Yeah.
I think I answered the question.
Yeah.
I just kind of fell into it after that audition, really. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Oh my God. That's so funny. They're like, do you want to try?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, right place at the right time, or you just got to make friends too,
Yeah.
I would go to cons and just see these people and just be like, hey, I made this little thing, or can I send you something? And I was learning sound design and stuff at school. I was learning other abilities that I could use for projects on YouTube. So animating, I was learning Flash, I was learning editing, I was learning graphic design, I was learning sound design. And then I was like, I could probably make a demo. I could probably make a video. And then, people were seeing this and they're like, oh, cool. Okay. You got something there,
Yeah. I love that. So what has been the hardest lesson you've learned through voice acting?
Oh, gosh. Sometimes it feels like you could peak too early. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No.
I feel like I was on a good rush after that one audition and getting a few things, and then you start realizing that there's other people younger than you, and the market's very competitive. And then what you thought were your best tools, other people can do it just as well, maybe even better. And then you realize that you gotta keep up with the times. You know what I mean? You can't always rely on old reliable or the same people that helped you out. Because what could be lucky for you one day, and then it's lucky for somebody else, and it's like, why, what? So, I guess that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So what's what's a moment in either your voice acting career or on YouTube or social media that made you go, I'm doing something great here?
Oh my God. I think I still doubt myself even when I have done so much. But I think getting Amanatsu was really eye-opening because it's been a while since I've got to voice a character using my voice, and it made me feel like my voice is beautiful in a sense. And I do love my voice. There's just some days where, some days I don't.
Of
And
course.
I'm still learning, but I feel like hearing people say that role was perfect for you.
Yeah.
I really loved hearing that, and I feel like, oh, okay, it is possible. It just sometimes it does just take time and patience, for something to fall into your lap like that,
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I guess that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my, ugh, love it. So
Sorry, I'm making you cry.
no, yeah, I'm about to cry. Yeah, yeah. The thought that lost the train of thought there. Oh yeah. How has, since becoming a voice actor in anime, how has your relationship with anime changed?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. Um, I'll admit, when I went to Funny, I was a fangirl. Um, and it's I'm not gonna say anything, but, like, going into anything too much of a fan is not always a great thing.
Yeah.
And I've definitely toned that down much better. Looking at anime now, I still enjoy it, but then sometimes I'm always thinking it's like an assignment too.
Yeah.
And there are some days where if I do watch something that I happen to be in, I think it's a little weird. It's weird hearing myself sometimes.
Yeah.
I do love showing my parents though, like when they see me, like the fact that One Piece is on Netflix and I can go like, I'm on Netflix.
Yeah.
Um, but they always go like, "Oh, I hear you. That's you." Like, I think it's a little weird.
Mhm.
It's always I think it's always jarring for any actor to
Oh
hear
yeah.
themselves. Um, but other than that, like, I'm still enjoying the media. I still enjoy a show. I enjoy listening to both sub and hearing my friends and going like, "Oh, that's cool. That's what they went with. That's
Mhm.
interesting. Cool."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I love that. So, um, fun fact. We're both going to OzokuCon in August.
Yay! Awesome.
Yes. So what advice do you have for people guesting at their
Oh,
at
see,
cons?
that's a tough one.
Mhm.
Right now, like, obviously it's the same thing with acting. Everything's competitive.
Mhm.
The con market right now is very like heavy on like the veterans, banking on nostalgia.
Yeah.
Most people going to cons are our age,
Mhm.
like there's some kids that are getting to anime, but I don't think they're as in love with anime as much as the older crowd
Yeah.
is. So it's really hard. It's really hard to pitch a new VA to guesting unless you're in a show that's like trending or something. And I hate that it's a popularity contest, but it is. But I will say smaller cons are more about the community and the process in general.
Mhm.
And I tend to like the smaller ones because I get the chance to talk to the fans and they can see that just like, oh, okay, they might not have like the A-star role, but the fact that they're even getting something and I can interact with this person and ask them questions about the industry. I think that's pretty cool. Um, it's gonna take a while for some people, especially if you don't have a pop. I still don't have a freaking pop, but I managed to make it work because I know who I am and I know how to market myself.
Yeah.
And when you get an agent too, they say they'll book you cons. You need to talk to your agent and make sure they know how to market you.
Mhm.
And if they can't, then you market yourself because you're the only one who knows how to market yourself.
Mhm.
So when I market myself, I always go like, "Hey, I'm in these awesome shows. I'm fun. I'm bubbly. I also host game shows, and I can help you out with other panels. And I also work for kids content, so I can work for older audiences and younger audiences.
Mhm.
So you kind of just have to figure out your niche. It's the same thing as working on YouTube. You got to find that niche that makes you you, and not just copy everything around you.
Yeah. 100%.
I hope
Yeah.
that answered that
No.
question.
No, it
That was
did.
a tough one,
Yeah.
Because I've had friends coming up to me like, "How to get to cons?" I'm like, "It's not gonna be easy."
No, it is not going to be easy. But yeah, and so since going to more cons as a guest, what has been kind of a standout like moment or like thing about guesting?
Standout moment about guesting. I don't know. I've been on both sides of the table as a fan
Mhm.
and a guest, so I think I'm a weird enigma when it comes to that because
Yeah.
I just feel like, oh, this is just a little bit of work, but then I can just go out and go shopping anyway. Um, I guess to better say like the most I get from people that come to my table
Mhm.
is that they say that I was part of their childhood, whether it was through my YouTube videos, my anime
Yeah.
work, or anything else. And it feels so surreal because when I was a kid, I
Mhm.
wanted to work for Disney because they were part of my childhood. And I
Yeah.
was hoping that one day I could be something to inspire and be part of other people's childhoods. And I never got to work for Disney, but I still got to accomplish what I wanted to do, just a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And that surprises me every time when someone goes like, wow, I watched you when I was 10. And I was just like, oh, right, I did do it. So I guess that's been kind of the most interesting thing to me, that I constantly hear people coming up to my table. They're just like, man, you started out on YouTube and now you're here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like I can do that. And I feel
Mhm.
like that's a good message, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I recent as of recording, there we go. As of recording, my first guesting thing is in Toronto.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, in like this area. Anyway, and I'm very excited. I've guested other places and like been a part of booths and like
Mm-hmm.
I love the I watched you from episode 1 or listened since episode 1.
Yeah, right? Like, they've
Yeah.
been there since the beginning, and that's
Yeah.
like, that's such a great feeling. Like,
Yeah. And like just putting the like numbers to people
mhm.
is so nice because again, as content peeps, all we see is numbers constantly, right?
Yeah. And now we're seeing the faces. Now
Yeah.
we're seeing these people. We're seeing these individuals, you know, and
Yeah.
what kind of content that they're getting from it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I totally get that, and it's a
Yeah.
great feeling.
Oh yeah. I'm like, like my first ever like meet and greet type thing at a con. Beforehand, I was like, it's gonna be so easy. It's gonna be no one's gonna come by. We're fine. And like I don't understand why these celebrities get so tired after every meet and greet. It's so I don't get it. And then it was only for 2 hours, and at that 2 hours, I was like, I need
No,
a nap.
it's a lot of energy because like even though you're just simply talking to them,
Yeah.
you're just not putting on a personality, but you're
Mhm.
giving them the time that they came to you, and you
Yeah.
want to make it like such a memorable experience for them.
Mhm.
And then by the end of it, you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Like my face hurts from smiling.
Try hosting a game show
Oh
and
my
see how you
God.
feel after that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't even imagine. So, I saw you go on a little thing on Twitter about Zenshu.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. What are your thoughts since the show has now finished as of recording?
It's so funny because when I saw the trailers, I was so thrown off when they said it was an isekai. And then I was just about to be like, whatever. But then I'm like, I'll give it the 3-episode chance.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this has something to say.
Mhm.
And then by the end of it, now I want more. And I
Yep.
know we're not going to get more.
Nope.
And it sucks.
Yep.
But sometimes a story just needs to end. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Because if we put it on for too longer, then we start losing the soul of what was so good about the story.
Yeah.
And just, it was just such a fun performance from everybody. My friend
Mhm.
Ryan,
Yep.
that's like one of his biggest like leads right
Let's
now. And I'm
go.
just like, he told me that he was going to work on some posters, including like making an old school poster of the movie that it was based off of. I'm like, I'll get that. I'm already a
Yes.
fan of the
Yep.
movie.
Yep. Sign me up. Oh my God.
But just the fact that it also ended it with a heroine that just like she did understand the meaning of love,
Mhm.
and now that's helped her to create things
Yeah.
more. And I feel like that's good acting advice too, where I feel like sure there's classes and stuff like that, and that's all good advice.
Yeah.
But I think the real good advice is that you need to do things. You need
Mhm.
to learn how to love. You need to learn how to do a job. You need to learn how to just like live a life, because those things will help you in your acting. You know, they'll show that you can act like, you know, like a person, you know, be
Yeah.
relatable. And that's what makes really good acting choices, when you can come off as relatable to people.
Oh yeah. I still think like when I watched episode 11, I was like, this may be one of the best episodes of anime I've
Yeah.
ever seen. Like I won't spoil anything for those who haven't seen it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
when Yunio screams, "I love your art," I sobbed so hard. Like, oh God.
Hey, Luke, here's your girlfriend.
So-
I love that.
So good. So good. And I love the humor. I love
Mhm.
the world of Zenshu is so cool.
It's a perfect show of what the things I like. There's humor, there's drama, there's a message. That's what I want in my anime, you know?
100%. And like when I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, it's by Mappa. It's about animation. I was like, okay, it's about an animator. I'm like, okay, how meta are we gonna get? And then it just blew all of my expectations out of the water.
I think that's why it did well, because it did blow everybody's expectations. Like, people were expecting one thing, and we got something completely different, and it was fantastic. So
we were watching it basically twice a week be with one of our friends and then with us, because if I go on Twitter, it would just be spoilers. Like
at this point, I've like, even if I see a spoiler, it doesn't bother me, because I've just been so like, especially during Pokemon stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like, when is there not a Pokemon leak?
Literally.
But yeah, at this point it's just, but I totally understand. Yeah, when it comes to enjoying something, you need to stay off social media, unfortunately, because people will post fan art and like, oh, look at this. This was my favorite scene when this guy died.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I think I was working on a Sunday, and obviously it came out on Sundays. And I was checking my my Twitter on break, and Ryan had tweeted something, and I was like, stop.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you're excited. I haven't
man.
watched yet. Oh my
I'm
God.
actually working on a Zenshu cover. I was supposed to get it out much earlier, but look out for that on my YouTube if you're interested.
So
also, I love Bandmaid, so I had to cover it.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Oh my God. Oh, that's exciting. Oh my God. But yeah, I just, it was so good. It was just, and
great. I can't wait to own it, honestly. I told Emily that too. I was like, I need to own this now, and I need everyone to sign this Blu-ray.
Yeah, I remember. So I didn't check social media when Justice got introduced.
Justy Butchie.
Yeah, and we were like sitting on the couch, and Justice got like came on screen and talked, and I was like, that's Corey. That's
honestly, that's one of my favorite roles Corey has done.
Oh
honestly.
yeah,
like they're so super talented, but like that one particularly, like
100%.
Yeah.
I was blown away since they walked on screen. I was like, what the like Jesus, and like, oh, just everyone did such a amazing job.
Great show.
Great show. Oh my God, so good. So when you were getting into voice acting, who were some of the voice actors that you looked up to?
Oh my God, where to start? Rob Paulson, Cree Summer, Tress MacNeille, Lucy Christian, Greg Ayres. Oh, Greg Ayres.
Ooh, yeah.
When I remember I told you about Sayuki.
Yeah.
So that's where I first heard Greg Ayres.
Okay.
Because he played Son Goku in that one.
Okay.
Completely different from our Son Goku from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
But just his voice was just so interesting. And the more I got to meet him, he actually used to DJ a lot. I think he still DJs, but in the beginning, he DJ'd a lot at Anime Next, which was my go-to con.
Yeah.
And like, we kept going to his concerts, and he kept like, he's like, yeah, you. And then I got to guest at a con with him, which is like, and he's just like, man, it's really cool how far you come. I'm like, thank you, Greg. I'm a fan of all your work. I also loved him in Beck. I loved again, probably like the biggest inspiration, and also just a person that has a unique voice that probably doesn't fit every niche, but he still found a way to go in and do what he can. And he has a few leads under his belt too, and I feel like, okay, if Greg can do it, I can do it. Oh God, who else? There's so many people. Lucy Christian, Monica Rial.
Oh,
I mean,
so good.
I grew up with these people, and then the first time I got to go to Funimation, I thought I was in Hollywood. I'm like sitting down, waiting to be called in, and then I'm just like, wow, there's Caitlin Glass going for a jog, and there's Mike McFarlane. And I was just like, oh my God, shut up, Corinne. Like I'm on those bus tours and going like,
yeah,
wow.
literally, wow.
Now I just see them and I'm just like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? Hello, Justin Cook. Like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's definitely changed from when I was starting out, for sure.
Yeah. There's even with the podcast, like I'll send out, because I send out emails and messages being like, I would love to have you on, just chancing, right? And one person who was a part of my childhood reached back out, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning. My friend was sleeping on the couch, and I ran out. I was like, whoa, they responded to my message. They're like, what?
It's weird, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
like you never think that you get to know these people. Like,
Yeah, like it's insane. And like,
and I've met all these people, whether it was through work or just going to like Comic-Con and just
Mhm.
having a nice conversation with them. Like,
Yeah,
just so cool.
yeah.
It's cool that we get this chance to meet people like that, you know?
Oh yeah, totally. It's like it's just crazy that, like, you know, I used to kind of not look up to these people, I guess.
No, I mean, you could say that because,
Yeah.
like, at first, like, we didn't even know it's like what this is, and then when
Yeah.
you get into that world and
Mhm.
then you start seeing them as humans, you're like, oh, we're humans. And it's the same thing. I always tell people, don't be shy, just come say hi. You know,
Yeah.
like chatting is free. You
Mhm.
know, you don't need to buy anything. Like, let's just talk. You
Yeah.
know, and once you get past that point, you're like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
It was like the first time I surreal moment. I met Peter Ferrandez, who did Speed Racer
Oh yeah,
a
yeah.
long time ago, and I
Mhm.
was just like, "It's thanks to my dad that I like anime," and I got a copy signed, of a Speed Racer thing for him,
Mhm.
and I was just like, good, thank you for like, thanks, dad, here you go." And then I also got to meet Corinne Orr, which was also cool because I met another Corinne, and I was like, "This." But just
Yeah.
the fact that, like, these people worked on these shows,
Yeah.
not knowing it would make any money or get any attention, and now nowadays, it's, like, so respected right now,
Yeah.
you know? Like, nobody wanted to touch it, and now everybody wants to be in it,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's insane. And like, I am so thankful for this, for
Mhm.
getting to know so many amazing people. And like, literally, my partner and I were talking about it earlier tonight, being like, what is your life? Like, there's things down the pipeline that I can't even talk about on this episode, that I'm just like, I don't know what my life is.
Right?
Yeah, and
I get that.
it's just insane. And like, there was so Daniel Baugh, who voices Jimbei.
Jinbei, yeah. I
Yeah.
guess it had a con with him recently, yeah.
Oh, love that man. Love
Very
that
nice
man.
man, yeah.
Yeah. He, like, we did an episode, and then he was going to New York Comic Con as a guest, and I was just going to go, and he's like, oh, we should go out for dinner. I was like, absolutely. And so we're at this like rooftop bar in New York, in Times Square, and I'm just like, what is my life right now? I am having drinks with Jimbei. Like,
I
who's-
totally get what you mean. I've
Yeah.
had such similar events where I'm just like, "I'm here with this person,
Yeah.
it's awesome." Like
Yeah, I'm just like, how is this life? Like, oh my god, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well,
It's
thank you.
fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on.
Oh, thank you for having me, this was fun.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
So, where can the lovely people find you?
Most of my social media is Megami33 or Megami36, that's a backup name. But yeah, YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, I got it all. Got covers on my YouTube channel. I'm also twitching. I'm doing streaming now.
Ooh.
I got a VTuber. This is based off
Oh,
my
hell yeah.
Megami 33 persona on my channel. So
Love it.
she's a little space bunny girl.
Love it.
I might have a special debut for her around June
Ooh.
near my birthday. So we'll see how that turns out.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. All of that will be down the description. You can follow me at Corky Cosplays, Adam Corky everywhere. Or Corky Cosplays on Instagram. There we go. Adam Corky everywhere else. And subscribe to the Patreon. You get exclusive videos as well as the episode a day early, and some just BTS behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.